Is what is going on? We are just getting started with a little Amazon FBA Q&A. We got the TikTok live right here. We're about to go over a new change to Amazon that they just made with variations. I'm late. No, sir. I started about 3 minutes ago. What's good, Airstick? Good to see you, my boy. All right. Let's do this. This update is interesting. It is very interesting indeed. I saw some product have this weird gray text by the title. For what? What do you mean? Okay, so let's show this new change. Let me share the screen here. It's glitchy. What's glitchy? My connection's glitchy? I don't know why. Is it glitchy for anybody else? Okay. So new change, like they changed something. It shows like categories by the title for some products. It's not glitchy. I'd have to see that. I don't know. I'd have to see what you're talking about. You good in my cell. Nice. What's example of the variation rule? That's what I'm about to show right now. Okay. I'm going to YT. Sounds good, brother. See you there. Okay. So here we have bed sheets. I feel like my front camera looks weird. Also back from your freestyle. What's up, Mzilla? Okay. So here we have bed sheets on Amazon. Now, if you notice, this variation or this listing, nice, that's what's up, Omar. No soliciting in the live, bro. But if you notice, we have the size variation, and on the same variation, we have color variation. Amazon is removing the size and color combination. I was brain farting on the word combination. So now what's going to happen is if you have twin size sheets, you're only going to be able to have twin size sheets with all of these colors. Or you can only have white with all of these sizes. So this is a variation combination here. And so essentially they're not getting rid of size variations and they're not getting rid of color variations. What's happening is they're getting rid of them both on the same listing. So now what you're going to see come September 2nd, I believe. Now this listing will still likely be active on Amazon, but if they ever try to make changes, Amazon is going to suppress it until they pretty much fix it. So what you're going to see for future listings is, let's say somebody was launching new bed sheets, they'd only be able to have the twin and all of these colors, or they would only be able to have one color with all of these sizes. Pretty big change that Amazon is making. I asked people's take, and I saw some comments on the TikTok video that I made, and I didn't really fully agree with some of the takes. I think that like some people were like, oh, they're doing it to make us spend more on PPC. I don't think that's the case. They're doing it to, what was the other one? Because people are abusing it. But I don't get how more listings / selling fees. No, not at all. They're going to make the same amount of fees as those variations. That just because something is in a parent variation doesn't mean that you're only paying one FBA fee. You're paying the same FBA fees for each one of those variations. So Amazon's not even making more money with this change, which makes it even more interesting as to why they're making it. Because like the inbound placement fee, the storage fee, the high return rate fee, like those were all making more, help Amazon make more. This one is just an interesting change. I used to work for EA, similar strategy, covering more ground for exposure. Well, that's also what I find interesting, Mzilla, is that like people were free to do that regardless. Like there are certain markets where there will be sellers who choose not to do variations and they want to take up more real estate on Amazon. But now Amazon's just not giving anybody a choice. Alex, thank you for sharing the live and liking the live, my guy. Appreciate you. And everybody who's in the live asking questions. Any questions that you do have about selling on Amazon, drop them down below. But does this mean you have to spend more on ads? I think it really depends. Maybe that could be actually a pretty valid reason, but I think it's going to depend. I think we kind of have to see how it plays out, but you can still do variations. Yeah, we'll kind of see. Because I guess in that case, like if you're not ranked organically, then yeah, you'd have to run ads to multiple of those variations, like the size, color. Nice, Mzilla, I like it. It is an interesting change. There are very few changes on Amazon that I'm not a fan of. This is one of them. I think we'll just have to see how it plays out. Not the biggest fan. I think that it's going to hurt a lot of sellers. Bro, when do you freestyle? What did I miss? No, he's just Mzilla every time he's in the live talks about my freestyles or my raps, but I've never done it. He's never heard it. Net was about to be so sad. Sorry if I missed by, but what do we think they're doing? What up, Airstick? It could actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it could be for people to spend more on ads, but we'll kind of have to see how it plays out. We have some products that are in these combination variations. Like we have I was about to give away exactly what a product was, but let's call it color and size. So we have some like that. I will firsthand see how this plays out. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated come September 2nd on how it affects sellers. After getting ungated, what if I see the ungated item on clearance at retail stores? I still need an invoice. If you're already ungated, you should be good. I don't mind doing tap and share. People want information, but they don't like to tap and share the live. Yeah, I agree. Alex, you're a real one. If y'all get value from these lives, 110%, all I ask in return is that you tap the screen. Literally, I've been in people's lives, and it's so easy to do. And share. If you guys click the share button and click copy link, it counts as a share to the algorithm. So basically this will make more listings, more PPC revenue. That's probably the best guess. I've been doubting my product in the market, but if I'm getting 1 to 2 sales a day on average, that means demand, right? Maybe I'm getting so little sales due to low reviews. Yes. If you're getting some conversions, that's a good sign. But remember, conversion rate is going to be the biggest driver to your sales on Amazon. So you really want to dial that in. Iman, thank you for sharing the live. Yes, this is also true. Amazon at any point can ask you for an invoice. There must be something else. I'm going to deep dive and see what I can find. Nice, Airstick. Let me know what you see. I'm also going to do more of a deep dive. I've been a little busy today. I saw that news this morning. Thought I would make a video on it. This is also bad for customer UI because there will be more pages to scroll to get what you want. It could also be even take it a step further. It's going to hurt sellers a little bit because obviously you have less reviews if your variation isn't combined. All the reviews combined when you do have your products in those variations. But what I think it's actually also going to do, I might actually make a video about this. I think that it's going to hurt new sellers in markets that they shouldn't be going into anyways. Not for a product that you guys, where the numbers look good, average reviews are low. But think about it like this. A market, actually, I want to pull this up again to show an example. go back to bed sheets. Share the screen with YT. Airstick, I'm not going to be able to see your comments while I share my screen. Hey, Luke. What up, Richard, in the YT chat? Okay, so let me show this one more time. Let's go to a listing like this. So I would never go launch in sheets for so many reasons, but what it's going to also do is turn my computer on do not disturb. All right. So you obviously have this variation combination here, color, size. Now, this listing has 237,000 reviews. Now, it may break up some of these reviews, but what's going to happen is this brand, because they're so strong on Amazon, is likely, if they, for example, made an update and had to disband this variation, I'll get to that. Or can you expand on that, Georgios, like what you mean by that? But what's going to happen is, let's say they can only have twin with all the colors, or maybe one color with all the sizes. They're going to take up more real estate on page one. So on, again, markets that you shouldn't be going into anyway. So it's not going to affect anyone who's doing good product research. But what will happen is you'll start to see more brand domination amongst a listing. So we see this brand here, CK or CGK. They'll probably have multiple listings on page one. Now, where that becomes tricky is when, because there's so many big brands for this market, where a majority of the page, and I don't even just mean like 50%, I mean like the whole page is pretty much just dominated by one brand. 75K average reviews. Yeah, I know. Discipline, thank you so much for the follow. Georgios, can you expand on that a bit more? What you mean by long-term, won't it hurt Amazon because sellers will try to stick products that don't have variations? No, Amazon's pretty good at catching that, where like they're not going to let you put bed sheets in a variation with like, you know, a dog toy or something. So people aren't going to just be able to make those variations. Also, when you make a variation, let's show this here. When you make a variation, the product has to be in the same subcategory. So the BSR, this is the main category, home and kitchen. Yeah, I think there will always be people who are willing to take that chance. Like, I avoid products that are very variation dependent. It's one of the reasons why I wouldn't go launch bed sheets. I thought you were talking about like creating variations that there shouldn't be. But just kind of like bed sheets, I would never go launch bed sheets. But meanwhile, there's, you know, going to always be sellers. We still have 7 pages on Amazon of people who will go launch this product. So I don't think that will necessarily be a negative to Amazon. Amazon also, I don't think that this is a test because they made a big announcement. Like Amazon has done around this time last year, Amazon removed the review count, which that was probably my least favorite change that Amazon has ever done. But they removed the review count, but then they changed it back because I would assume that ended up hurting their revenue. But yeah, they do make changes that are usually in their best interest. I mean, it's no surprise that Amazon cares more about their business than our business. Meanwhile, largest e-commerce platform in the world, so they know that people are going to utilize it and sell products on there regardless of the changes that they made. Even if they kept the review count gone, like it hurt our conversions, it hurt our sales. Now, I'm sure it also hurt Amazon's sales too, which is why they changed it back. But let's assume that it didn't. They would have kept that change, not necessarily caring what it does to sellers or how it affects sellers. Just kind of like if you owned a business, you would be not you specifically, Georgios, but like as a business owner, you're going to care more about your business versus anything else. Question in the YT. Hey, my products are doing about 5K a month, 20 to 30% margin for a few months now. Would you consider this a winning product? Yes, that's a W, Richard. Congratulations. That's awesome. All right. Do we want to do some live product research? Yes, no. I mean, we got to the light goal, so I'm not even going to ask. We're just going to do it. Do we want to do the Amazon search method or do we want to do the black box method? I think Amazon has peaked in earnings, to be honest. If they try to squeeze more profits out of desperation, it'll hurt them more, I think. I kind of disagree on that one. I don't think it's a bad take by any means, Georgios. I just think that when you've deepened your roots into the world as much as Amazon has, it's kind of like a great example would be like if Apple made an iOS update where nobody liked. They're still Apple. Like, even if they lose 1 million customers, they go switch to Android. Like, they still own the market share on phones. So I think Amazon is similar. Like, Amazon makes a change. Another example would be like Amazon added the inbound placement fees, which I don't think the new fees are that big of a deal. I avoid all of them, so I don't pay more in fees. I actually pay less in fees because of some changes that they made. Are you gonna, like, sure, they might lose your I don't even want to say average seller. They might lose, some interest for some people who are like, oh no, these new fees scare me. But like, as a large brand, if you're a goalie, a Nike, one of the brands that I own, which I'm not comparing myself to Nike, but we are a fairly large brand on Amazon. We're not going to not sell our products on Amazon. Because we still sell our products on other platforms, but you're not going to just dismiss the largest e-commerce platform in the world. So do you consider a winning product? Do you consider it a winning product? It isn't always product like doing 30K a month. Could be collection of 5 to 10K revenue products. Exactly, Richard. And that's the right mindset for you to have, bro. Don't be, and I'm not saying you're one of these people. I don't think you are. Don't be one of these people who would think like, if I'm not making 500K on my first product within 1 month, then this Amazon thing isn't working. Like, you can have kind of like in your case, so 5K a month at a 30% profit margin, let's say. So you're doing 1,500 in profit. Now, let's say that you rinse and repeat and you launch 10 products over time. And I would assume some products will do better. Some products may do the same. Let's just assume every single product does the same. That's 15K in profit, brother. That's more than 50% of the United States will ever touch in their life, respectfully. So that's great. What's the best way to start with 5K online arbitrage or wholesale? How do I get ungated? I wouldn't do either of those business models. For me, private label all day, Nico. Your course fees and CAD. You can message me or hop on a call with the team. They'll be able to answer all of those questions. Obviously, it is a little bit more in Canadian because I'm down here in the US. I hear you. Amazon is pretty much too big to fail. I also think Bezos and Jash are quick to change fault. Yeah, I have the belief that if Amazon ever goes away, we have much bigger problems in life. Not because Amazon went away, because of how big Amazon is, there had to have been something really wrong in the world for that to happen. It's funny, because I want to move out of the US. I love the US, but I do have some interest in living in another country for a little bit. And for a while, I was thinking like Thailand, Bali. I was going to go down to Asia, but I literally started thinking. I know this is so petty and so materialistic, so maybe not the right mindset. But I was like, what am I going to do without Amazon? Like, I have products show up to my door in a day. Like, it would literally like shake my world a little bit. And that's just me. There's people who rely on it for income. There's people who rely on it for everything. There's people who don't go outside to shop. You're talking Amazon even will deliver your groceries. Like I know my cousins, they have Amazon deliver their groceries. They buy everything from Amazon. Like it's probably less than 1% of the time that they're going outside to a store to actually get something. You medicine too? Wait, what? Oh, medicine, your medicine too? Yeah. Wait, do you mean like getting medicine or ordering medicine from Amazon? Yeah, they do it all. At some point, in medicine too, yeah. No, not that too. I remember reading, and I don't know how much this is going to come to fruition, but I remember reading that Amazon was going to get exclusive drone rights in the US to be the only company, not even FedEx or UPS. And I don't know if this is, I haven't seen it come to fruition. It's just an article that I had read like a year ago, that they would get exclusive drone rights to deliver packages. No other company, nobody else would be able to deliver packages via drone except for Amazon. But then I also did see that Walmart was testing this in one of the states. So they're just dialed in. I do think they're too big to fail. You think this update pushes out smaller sellers and favors bigger sellers? No. I only think that it pushes out smaller sellers in markets that smaller sellers shouldn't be selling in. Kind of like the bedsheet example that I just showed you. For your average product, or not average product, but for a product that like meets my criteria, I don't think that this is going to affect sellers in the way that, in a negative way. Overall, we will see how it plays out, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. I think we're all going to be fine. Even for us, like one of our second largest Amazon account, we do these variation combinations. And I don't think it's going to be the end all be all of our sales. Like I think we'll be just fine. You always have to learn to pivot. Have you ever expanded into Walmart or retail with your private label products? Retail on a really small scale. Walmart online, yes. Retail is a mofo. Like if you have a successful direct to consumer product, there's two different ways to look at this. So I'm not trying to say like there's only one size fits all. But if I'm doing 10 mil a year on a product and I have good social, a good marketing strategy, I have, my Shopify, Amazon, TikTok shop all dialed in, going into retail can cause a big headache. There's so many aspects of retail that can actually make companies lose money. I'm blanking on the company, but it was on Shark Tank, and they lost so much money going into retail because their sell-through rate wasn't good in the stores. Now, if you have a good sell-through rate, then this doesn't really matter. But they didn't have a great sell-through rate. They went into stores, and you think that you're making all of this money, but then all of a sudden the store is like, hey, this isn't selling. You have to essentially, you lose the money. Like, it's not like, hey, this isn't selling, we're just going to call it a day, cut ties. Like, no, they charge you for that. Why do you think they'll stick with this, unlike the review removal they did last year? They didn't announce the review removal. I don't quote me on this, but from my recollection, everything that they've announced stayed, like the new fee structure, the Amazon Vine, where you can only submit one variation into Vine and can't like individually create 10 listings that were going to be in a variation, put each one of them into Vine and then merge them. All of the things that I remember that they've announced, they stuck with. The review thing was just like one day we wake up and the review count wasn't on Amazon anymore. And then like a couple days later, the review count was back. And then a couple days later, the review count was gone. And then a couple days later, it was back, and then it stayed. Retail is the death of most brands. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not a big fan of retail. In my opinion, Amazon is as important as supermarkets. If those don't exist, then something's bad happened. I agree with that, Richard. So the supermarkets basically charge small brands for space on shelves. Yeah, I mean, unless you're like if you're like a, excuse me, if you're like a Nike or a Nature's Made, like one of those supplements, like it's a different relation. But if you were a new seller and you go into retail brands, they're going to give you an invoice. So let's say that you got like a $100,000 invoice. They pay you that for the units. If it doesn't sell through, like these retail brands like a Costco or a Walmart or a Target, like they're smart. They're not going to just take these chances on things and not have a safety net on the back end. So then if it doesn't sell through, you end up paying for the inventory that didn't sell through. Had sales all week, but today no sales. I made no changes. Is this normal? Have you been tracking your organic rank user 1-2? I asked a friend that has been doing private label for the past 10 years, and he told me he doesn't use Helium-10 for anything but estimating sales. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I like it for a few other things, but I can see that. Your tacos on this account, it ranges between 7 and 9%. Do sellers have a way to speak with Amazon and give feedback on changes and updates? Technically, yes, but they don't really necessarily listen, because I'm sure every seller was like, hey, don't add these other fees, and then they still added them. I also found it's mainly just useful for seeing BSR history and estimating sales. I like it for keyword research and product research too, because by estimating sales, you're also using that to do product research, because you have to have some kind of general gauge on how well products do. But I do like it for keyword research. How long would you say it would take to scale from 1 to 7 to 10 winning products? Depends on how much capital you have and how fast you scale or launch new products, but could be like 1 to 2 years. Are you seeing better performance from non-brand or branded keywords? Non-brand always. I mean, you'll see good results from branded keywords. Like, let's say my brand was Luke's brand and I had a listing that had 5,000 reviews. Like, yeah, if I bid on Luke's brand's water bottle, then my ACoS is going to look good, but you have to look at a more granular view, because of course on my own branded keywords I'll perform, but can I carry a brand with branded keywords? And I don't launch against competitor brand keywords, because unless I'm very dialed in and I'm very profitable on everything else and I'm ranking organically, because you're not going to convert as well on those. They usually do test buys in key stores before they buy big. Yes, 100%. Yes, for long tail keywords, I'm starting to see my listing organically rank. Maybe it's a slow day. It could just be like sometimes you might have an off day on PPC, and if you're not ranked organically, that's going to show on your sales. Another thing, I don't love talking about this too much because I don't want people to like use this as an excuse, and I'm not talking about you, user 123. I'm trying to be less direct, and I'm definitely not talking to you, but I'm trying to be more like chill with my answers. I don't want anyone to think that I'm coming for them with my answers. Amazon is a business. So just like a business is going to have slow and peak days, Amazon themselves is also going to have slow and peak days. But what you have to consider is, because it's a marketplace, on those slow days, that means that it may be slow for a lot of people, not everybody, but if you do well, they'll make a large buy, but that's a whole different story. I don't have room for, yes. I only know about all of this stuff because, like I said, my experience in retail was very like small. It was not like a Walmart or Target. I mainly got my products into NutriShops, which I don't even think NutriShop is nationwide. I think they're only on the West Coast. It would be the equivalent of like a GNC, but they're much smaller than GNC. But yeah, I most of my knowledge of retail comes from, it's going to sound silly, but comes from Shark Tank. I mean, unless it's your own brand, right? Obviously, yeah. I found a seasonal product launched in a competitive niche last December. He did 280K this month. Nice, good for him. I would never launch seasonal products, but it works for some people. I actually did almost consider buying this business. I've never thought of buying a business, but I did some consulting for this lady, and she sold two seasonal products and then one evergreen product. I don't really want to say what the market was. I'm trying to think of like an example. Let's say we'll just call it a decor product. And so she had a decor product that was good year round, a decor product that was just for Halloween, and then a decor product that was just for Christmas. It worked out pretty well for her. Like during Q4, she would do $250,000 in top line revenue just on her seasonal variations. And then her other variation, it performed decent. It maybe did like 50 to 100K for the year, all year round. I almost considered buying that business, but I remember the thing that she struggled with the most was like she would crush it during the season, but then if you ever have excess inventory, it just becomes such a hassle. And even she was in that business. She started that business and she had it running for like five years, I want to say. And it was still hard to fully dial it down to a T. In the beginning, how long did it take you? How many didn't work out? I mean, my very first product was successful, Richard. I launched 2 or 3 products my first year, but those second and third products were literally at the end of the year. And then I launched a decent amount. I probably launched more than between like 5 and 7 products my second year. And then once I that was after my first 2 years, I had really dialed things in. This year alone, if you include products that are on the water, you're talking 15 products that I've launched this year. But that's just because I have a very repeatable system. I know exactly what to do. I know what to optimize. So your first couple of years will be a little bit more of like, we'll call it growing pains. But then as you scale, I think it'll be easier. Yeah, I like helium-10. What's up, Luke? What is a good freight forwarding per kg for sea freight? It really depends on the time of the year and the product. But like right now for your standard product, nothing electronic or fragile, I'm seeing between like 50 cents and 90 cents a kilogram for fast sea shipping. PVC, but SEO is one of my strengths. Nice. Yo, Wins product research. We'll do it right now. Sorry, been lagging. Also, if y'all aren't following the TikTok already, make sure you hit that plus sign to be tapped into these lives that I do every day and the 4+ videos that I post every day. I said I was going to not post 4 videos a day, but then it just feels weird to only post 2 videos a day after doing 4 for so long. So y'all make sure that you tap into that. Mihar, thank you so much for the follow. What's the best way to track your organic rank and what keywords to target on ranking? You want to target your main keywords. There's 2 ways to do it. You can obviously plug in your product account and keywords into something like Helium-10, or you could do it old-fashioned style and just track it manually, type in the keywords, see where your product appears on the page. My product is active. How to run ads, paid or unpaid, fine with both. Well, you can't run unpaid ads, Alpha, and you don't want to just rely on organic traffic because you don't have any organic ranking as a brand new listing and seller, most likely. But you would go into your campaign manager on Amazon. See, thank you so much for the follow. Do not use Amazon Global Logistics. I agree, Christian. I agree. I'm not a fan. I've actually never used them, but apologies for the excess questions. Never apologize for excess questions. I actually don't like when we don't have questions in the live. So if there's one person who asks 100 questions, I'm game for it. So never apologize for that. How many reviews does Vine leave on average for you and other sellers? For me, I'll come out of Vine with like 25 to 30 reviews. Even if I submit 30, a lot of times I get the full amount of reviews. I feel like more recently people have been seeing less Vine reviews because there is a certain threshold that Vine customers have to do in order to stay in Vine, but it's not 100%, which I think is so silly. If I was Jeff Bezos, that would be something that I would change, but I'm obviously not Jeff Bezos. So what is the time range for your fast sea shipping that you see? 25 to 30 days. If trademark is registered in home and kitchen category, will Amazon allow to sell automotive too? Yes, you just won't be protected legally in that other category that your trademark isn't in. If trademark is registered, I answered that. I used to work for Amazon. Product is awful, always late and way too expensive. Oh, nice. Well, not nice about it being late and expensive, but nice that you used to work for them. In the variation thing, drop, private label, or also OA, it's for everybody. It's all across Amazon's platform. Yeah, I did. I realized that I might have been confusing in that first video that I made. So make sure you go watch both of my videos that I posted on the variation thing today. It's only variation combinations. So you're going to be able to do size variations individually. You're going to be able to do color variations individually. You're going to be able to do style variations individually. What you will not be able to do is do color size combination variations or style color combination variations. Did you go straight into launching brands or wholesaling? I've never touched wholesale arbitrage, not for me. Private label all day, that guy. Any tips launching in a niche where near 1,000 reviews is mostly the norm? Make sure you have a great converting listing and make sure that you have a good marketing strategy dialed in. I really do like the idea of driving external traffic from off of Amazon to Amazon. I think that that can help, but time range for fast shipping is like 2 weeks quicker as per advertised, but most of the time it's like 5 days. Yeah, I mean, what we see is like fast sea shipping is, like I said, 25, 30 days. Slow sea shipping, 35 to 45 days. So to your point, slow sea shipping, maybe it's 30 days, and then, or excuse me, fast sea shipping, maybe it's 30 days, and then slow sea shipping might be 35 days, but then you also might hit that 45, 50 day mark, which I don't love. Luke Bezos. JL, thank you so much for the follow, and everybody in the live vibing. If you guys are not already following, make sure that you do on the TikTok, because I do go live every day except for Sundays and post multiple videos every single day. Is it normal to break even because of PPC on my first launch? Yes, but you should be striving to come out of break even. I don't think anything is wrong with break even if you're establishing organic rank, you're optimizing your conversion, you're getting more reviews. So couldn't you just do all the styles, then make color variations with those styles? Correct. How to do outside traffic to Amazon. one of my favorite ways, like, and I'm not talking paid traffic, creating and I think everybody should do this. I remember in 2019, me and my cousin were literally just talking about this the other day because I was telling him how important social media is to your brand. Hold on, let me find this text. It's funny. So he texted me, he's like, what you said about social media in tandem with your brands. This is going to be an interesting text. My cousin loves WWE, but he says brands and presence was reiterated by Ric Flair last night. He was a millionaire from wrestling, spending it all. Realized that when he got on social media, he became a brand. He was one of the best wrestlers that had value wrestling. When he got a social media presence, he became the brand and value outside of wrestling. I said, social media is key in today's world. Honestly, can't have a strong brand without it. It's actually impossible, in my opinion, whether personal brand or consumer goods or even service-based. He said, yep, just powerful from someone who is king of his niche, made millions, a culture icon, sold tons of merch, still social media. And then I told my cousin, I said, I even remember hearing that at our first Amazon conference, they were saying Amazon brands who don't get on social will get left behind. The game has evolved. So I think that everybody should be having, I got you, Net. I got you. I know I've been lagging, but I think everybody should be creating a brand page on TikTok, IG, YT, Facebook page for their brand. I think that y'all should be pumping out content for your brand. You don't need to be a professional videographer. You don't need to have marketing experience. Just go look at what other people do on their videos and then take ideas and inspiration from it. Same concept of when you're like differentiating a product on Amazon. I think everybody should be reaching out to influencers. I think TikTok Shop changed the game with this. Like TikTok is honestly a G for what they did with their TikTok Shop affiliate program. But everybody should be reaching out to influencers. I mean, I operated a 6-figure clothing brand. I don't operate it anymore I can explain to you guys why if you want. I had influencers anywhere from 5,000 followers to like 4 million followers who would promote my brand. I didn't spend a single dollar on an influencer package. Every night before bed and every morning when I would wake up, I would go on IG and I would look up hashtag workout or hashtag fitness page or something like that. And I would find a bunch of influencers and I would message. Literally, I would probably message 100 a day. Nowhere near 100 of them responded, but the few that did, with no marketing spend. I didn't run Facebook ads for that clothing business. I didn't run Google ads for that clothing business. It was a mid 6-figure a year clothing brand with no ad spend. I need you to think about that for a second. I hustled. And so y'all should be doing the same thing for your Amazon brand. I think and I learned that from my very first Amazon brand that I started, and I carried that over through all of the brands that I've started since. Like y'all, I will never promote it. Y'all will never see it. But like for this brand, we're on social media. For this brand, we're on TikTok Shop. For this brand, we have influencers creating things for us. And for this brand in the last year, we've increased our top line revenue by nearly $700,000. Sales ordered Photoshop. No, this is an actual Amazon dashboard. You go into inventory, then dashboard, and you're going to be able to see this exact dashboard on your Amazon account. Where was I? Is it normal? I answered that. What do you see? What do you see? Shipping rates for electronic items? I don't sell electronic items, so I'm really not seeing the rates for that. My students don't sell electronic items, so not seeing the rates for that either. What is negative about using AGL? I just registered, but I haven't used it. I'm terrible with abbreviations. Amazon Global Logistics. I just don't think they have good rates. 11K likes. Luke, you got to leak product research secrets now. I got you. I made $30 profit without PPC, so I see potential. Hey, there you go. I love it. Woo, yeah, Ric Flair. I heard TikTok shop fees are much higher than Amazon. I don't think about the fees. I could care less about the fees. I think that TikTok is such a powerful tool. They've changed the game when it comes to e-commerce. And if TikTok stays in the US, they're going to do, if they stay in the US, TikTok will be our number 2 platform for our brands. Like without a doubt. Shopify is currently our number 2. I should start showing. I did say I have to wait before I invest myself, because once I do something, I do it big. So I have to wait to see if TikTok is for sure going to stay in the US for me to start making TikTok shop content. I don't even want these pushbacks or anything. I want it to stay. When it stays, I will start making content on TikTok shop, but I'll start talking about Shopify more if y'all like, because we do quite well on Shopify. Okay. At this point, we're going to hear your raps before product research. No, we'll do product research right now. Okay. Let's do it. We'll do a little speed run through some product research. To be fair, I like doing product research when the lives are slow. The live was popping today, so I wanted to just make sure that we answer everybody's question. You should do it the way you go about it. That's the only way I show it. I don't do things that I don't show things that I don't do on Amazon. I do 2 different methods. I'll show you guys the black box method right now. But like what you see is what I do. They filtered my slogan. What was your slogan? I guess they did. I didn't see it. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I got scared for a second. I thought I accidentally blocked you, Airstick. We're good. We're good. Just kidding. That's the last person I'd ever want to block. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Show you guys how to do product research. Black box method. So helium 10 black box tool. Oh, look at this. What is this? Hold on. Why did they change this? Oh, let's go to advanced. Okay, there we go. Okay, so they changed something. So they have simple. That's where you'll see this, or advanced. Go to advanced. I was so scared for a second. I did not like that. Oh man, that would have been a terrible change. Thank goodness. Okay, we're good. So you just do advanced. That was the first time me seeing that. All right, so we're gonna select a category. I usually have people do this, but just for time's sake, I'm gonna pick it. So we'll do baby products. We're gonna set a few filters. Minimum price, I always set this for 30. Parent level revenue, we can set to a minimum. You can play around with this one. So you can do like 8,000, you can do 10,000, 15,000, different things will get you different results. So let's just do 8,000. And then we have review count, max 200 reviews. Or same thing, you can play around with this one, 200, do 180, do 150, do 300, play around with it. And then we're going to search. And now, because I know how to do product research, this next part is on all of you. We're going to look for a product that catches our eye. Remember, for anyone who's never seen me do this, the idea is for me to show you how to do product research. I'm not about to do product research for you. We most likely are. I'm not even going to show a product that meets the criteria for the reason of I'm not here to hand out products. I'm here to show you guys how to find products. So I'm sorry to disappoint if you thought that's what this was. So I'm going to let you guys pick, and I will explain some of my mindset right now, because I'll hear people say like, oh, I haven't found any products. What's going on? If you look at 20 products, but you're looking at wrong products, of course you're going to get discouraged with product research. Like, for example, I wouldn't look at this baby drink right here, whatever this is. Like, I wouldn't even touch that one. So I'm not going to go check this product market. Before we have you guys pick, what else would I not look at? I wouldn't look at diapers. That's too saturated of, not even saturated, that's too competitive. I'm not going to spend my time on that. What else would I not spend my time on? I probably wouldn't even spend my time on this comforter. It would be a little bit like bed sheets. I wouldn't spend my time on this little number right here. It's electronic. I know that I don't sell electronic products, so I'm not going to spend my time looking at this product. And so if while you're going through and doing this method, I'm not going to do underwear because I don't want to do clothing. So while you're doing this method, if you know what to and not to look for, you're going to save a lot of time, right? I mean, just here, I eliminated like 4 different, I mean, because there's multiple blankets and multiple different pieces of clothing. I probably eliminated like 5, 6 products that I just wouldn't spend my time on. And from understanding that, you can start going through and picking products that do catch your eye. So remember, I already know how to do product research. So if we don't get engagement, then okay. But you guys pick a product that catches your eye. I'm going to scroll through. I'm not going to stop until somebody drops a product in the chat. Stop, Airstick. So let me know when you see a product that catches your eye. How to do product research? Follow this live. We're doing live product research right now. Diaper bag. All right, let's check it out. Where'd it go? Let's look at this one. Diaper bag backpack. I already know Airstick is Airstick. I already feel like I know what you're thinking about this one. I don't know. Pause. Section 8 baby gate. Stop. Does it really say that? Yeah, you don't want to get me started with that. Okay, so let's do diaper bag backpack. You want to identify the main keyword. I've been doing this a while. It's going to be one of the first things in your title. So something like this would be baby gate, something like this. I wouldn't even just say diaper bag. It would be diaper bag backpack. Same thing, diaper bag backpack, something like this. Let's go through a few examples. This one would be like car seat or infant car seat or baby car seat. Aaliyah, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you and everybody in the live. Make sure y'all are following because we do these lives every day except for Sundays. And I post 4+ videos every day. Something like this would be baby playpen. So we're going over what the main keyword is. It's very important that you're looking at the main keyword when doing this next step. So we had, where'd it go? We had diaper, bag, backpack. What should you sell on Amazon FBA? A product that meets the criteria that I'm about to go over right now. I'm not about to show a product that you should sell, so please don't get your hopes up. This is to teach people how to do product research. Hold on, I might be nice at this then. Hey, there you go. King, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. When you look at average reviews, are you looking at average reviews for the main keyword? Yes. Eddie, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Again, y'all make sure that you're following because we do these lives every single day to answer any of y'all's questions, to show you guys how to get started selling on Amazon, and I post multiple free videos going over all the steps on my TikTok as well. So make sure you tap into that. All right, now we're going to go to Amazon. We've identified our main keyword. We're going to go to Amazon, share this tab with white tee. Good. All right. And we're going to search diaper, bag, backpack. We're going to cross-reference our search volume. We see that the search volume right here is 30,000. Now, before we even pull up this market, remember how I said some people struggle with product research. I'm going to stop explaining, and as soon as I open this market up, I'm going to show you how fast I analyze this market. Because if you do what I mentioned, where I say there's certain products that we're just not even going to spend our time on, and if you can analyze a market as fast as I'm about to show you, you could literally run through 20 products in like 20 minutes. Okay? So we're going to search. Watch. Somebody put a timer up. Somebody count in their head. I haven't even looked at the data. You can start the timer right now. So we're going to pull up our Helium 10 X-ray tool, Google extension. I know this isn't a good product to sell. You see how fast I did that? I'm going to explain to you. I wouldn't launch this product. In about 5 seconds, I realized that this is not a market that I would sell. Search volume is good. Total revenue is good. Average revenue is good. Average price is good. Average reviews, this is what stops me. Okay? We can make sure that all the products here are relevant, which they are. First listing, highest reviewed listing is a diaper backpack. Are you on Amazon website? Yes. But we'll set our filters here. Of course, it's not. This is annoying. It literally only does this for me when I'm on live. Hold on, I have to refresh. But we already saw, because of those high average reviews, it's not a market that I personally would go launch in. So when we filter for low reviewed sellers here, under 200 reviews, we see that there's 11 right here. That's our number. So we just set our filter. There's 11 on page 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those 11 are doing 10K plus a month. In fact, are these all even relevant? Yes, they are. I want a product. Now, mind you, 5 out of 11, that's 20%. But there's not enough low reviewed sellers on page 1, which is the cream of the crop when you are selling on Amazon. You want your products to be on Amazon. There's not enough low reviewed sellers in this market that would make me be like, you know what? This is a good market for me to go sell on. So what would I do? Oh, Luke, but the product that we just looked at wasn't good. What would you go do? I would go back to my tab on Black Box Tool, and I would continue to look through here. And if you guys were maybe seeing some of the same products, then you can go back to your filters tab and you can play around with these filters. Play around with the max review count filter. Where's the revenue? Play around with the parent level revenue filter. And then you continue to just look through. I mean, there's multiple pages. It goes to page 10 plus on the Black Box Tool. And if you set different filters, then you're going to be able to see different products as well, because these are only products that are within our guidelines. And then you come back over here and analyze that product. Okay? Make sense? Get to some questions now. Do you buy from Alibaba? Yes. Take notes. Yes, sir. How exactly the insert card should look? There's not a really one size fits all. As long as it's TOS compliant, Tor, you'll be good. What if the main keyword has high reviews, but other keywords that you know I can easily rank on have low reviews? That's why you want to look at the main keyword, because the main keyword is the thing that you need to rank on the most. Gems, thank you, that guy. Reviews, what with good search volume? I still would base it on the main keyword. Can you take notes and send them to me later? Nice, Alex. Luke sharing all the secrets. Hope you all took good notes. Yes, sir. Alex, one of the AMZ Masterclass students. Airstick, one of the AMZ Masterclass students. We got the students even up in the live right now, still always trying to expand their knowledge. You ever use DHgate? I I've looked at it, but I think Alibaba is better personally. I have seen the software, bro. I think that it's cool, but I don't think. I'll just leave it at that. I think it's cool. Do you have products delivered directly to your home or directly to Amazon's warehouse? Directly to Amazon's warehouse. You'd be wasting time and money and adding extra steps if you had it shipped directly to your house, because then you still have to ship it to Amazon. You'll end up paying more than $200 to get it shipped to your house and then to Amazon. So you might as well pay $200 to get a product inspection done in China, make sure that the units are good, and send it directly to your manufacturer. Directly to Amazon's fulfillment centers from your manufacturer. Now, we've been giving over an hour of straight value, everybody. If you guys want the most in-depth guide on Amazon FBA private label, have me as a mentor. We even have a product selection option where, based on the criteria that I use and teach, I will select your product for you. AMZ Masterclass in the TikTok bio. Guys, watch this video. You guys can see all of the things right here on what you will get that are included in the AMZ Masterclass. You can see some student results right here. You can also go to the TikTok tab right here where it says Mentorship Student Wins, and you'll be able to see student results there as well. All you have to do to apply is click, yes, I want to apply. You would go through this very quick questionnaire. Takes about 1 to 2 minutes. Actually, fill it out proper. Don't do what I'm doing. Still only takes like 120 seconds max for you to fill this out. I'm going to hide this part so I do not dox my phone number and name like I have done way too many times on live. And if you qualify for the program, because not everybody qualifies, we actually deny like 90 to 95% of people who apply. You'll be prompted to this page here where you're going to be able to book a date and time with my onboarding coach, Adam. Adam will be able to send you or to give you all the information that you want about the program. What else do you have to say about the software? I do think it's cool, bro, but I don't think it's something that anyone should rely on for. I don't think anyone should ever rely on software. Like, I had somebody who used it come into the live and they didn't say that it was good. I also have students who have joined my program from that program, so people have access to certain things. And I've gotten asked a lot about it. I think it's cool. Me and Kunzi are cool. That's my guy. So I almost don't like talking about certain things because people on the internet try to make things seem like it's something that it's not. It's all love. It's all love. That's my guy. But I don't think it should be something to be relied on. Like, I know the criteria that they use in their program, and then I've had somebody come in and say, hey, there's a product that doesn't meet their criteria that gave me like a high A rating. So that's why you always have to use the software as a tool and read the data, not rely on the data to tell you what's good or not. How do you get Amazon warehouse to send to your product? By creating a shipment on Amazon, Nancy. How much do I need to invest for the mentorship and product? How long before seeing profit? How long before you see profit is really going to depend on a lot of factors after you launch that guy. For the mentorship and to launch on Amazon, you're depending on what package you're looking at, like probably like 6 to 8K. That all doesn't go to me. That's like to launch your product, to get your product shipped and all of that. I don't know the name of the software, but I use Helium 10. On that note, everybody, I hope you all have a blessed rest of your Friday, a productive day or productive night, great night, blessed night, and have a great weekend. I will be going on live tomorrow. It'll be an earlier live, no live on Sunday. I hope you all have a blessed one, and I will see you soon.